further on down the road. So not only do you have improvement in the visible markers, the weight loss, the appearance, the skin health, but you can use that as evidence that you are actually creating changes inside the body that are reducing your risk of degenerative diseases down the road.
When we come back, I want to talk about the UN movements and movements in the U.S. that are the most destructive and serious we've ever seen, trying to shut down vitamin C even in large dosages. They're really wanting to only let you have a tiny amount, and then Big Pharma is trying to patent all this, even fish oil, and make you pay thousands of dollars for something that would cost a few, dollars. I mean, it's just incredible.
We're on.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs is our guest. Riding shotgun with us is Aaron Dykes. If you're listening on radio, you really should go up to prisonplanet.tv and watch Aaron right now, because Aaron has lost 80+ pounds. Just to be clear, Aaron, I mean, you were working out almost every day. You were dieting. Well, I've watched you in the office down the hall go through this the last few years. Describe to people what happened once you started listening to pharmacist Ben Fuchs and the other guests we have on the show. Describe that transformation for radio listeners who can't see you right now.
Look, first of all, just being part of this larger waking up to the New World Order, I don't want to be part of the system. I'm trying to step by step detach myself from the things they've got me hooked with all throughout life. And that means television, that means these Fortune 500 food companies and all the other junk they got us into. And I don't want to be a part of it. So
but they love you.
I've been motivated for years, but it just wasn't working. I was working out hard, and I just wasn't losing the weight. But then it was a perfect storm. Ben Fuchs came on the air. I've heard about these vitamins. I decided to try them, and it just started working.
You did what you'd always been doing, eating healthy food, exercising, but something started happening. You started losing weight. So how long has it taken you to lose, what, 80+ pounds?
I really started hitting it hard back in June, but I started taking the vitamins in about May or April of last year. And it's, it's 80+. It may well be 90.
So in a year, you've lost over 80 pounds. Folks, again, this
is one of the easiest things I've done, too. I mean, I really enjoy exercising now, whereas before it was definitely a chore. It was something I had to make myself do. Now I really kind of look forward to it.
Folks, again, I only promote what I believe in, and your purchase also supports the broadcast and helps the news organization. That's why every few weeks, we have a plug for longevity and the Tangy Tangerine, Rebound, Pollen Burst, Cell Shield, all of it. Available at InfoWarsTeam.com, and there's banners linking to it at InfoWars.com. But if you try this, it's miraculous. And, I've talked to people like Dr. Blaylock, and he talks about the fact that essential fatty acids, coconut oil for people with Alzheimer's. And the system knows this, but they won't tell them. I hate to talk about this, but Ted's giving me authorization. He wants to save others. Ted Anderson's dad got Alzheimer's so bad he couldn't even take him fishing anymore. Got him on Tangy Tangerine for 6 months, knew who he was, started getting his memory back. It was dramatic. Ted was going to have to have surgery on his knee, doesn't need it anymore because he's taking the Osteo FX and all that. And it was so incredible that then his dad went and got his blood tested, and they said, well, your vitamin K is too high, and told him, don't take the Tangy Tangerine anymore because it has vitamin K, and don't eat leafy vegetables. Pharmacist Ben Fuchs, I then went and searched that online and found out that's standard. He's never even had a stroke. They just say, you're going to go on Coumadin, blood thinner, and you can't be on vitamin K now, and so you can't have leafy vegetables. I mean, the doctor's saying no Brussels sprouts here, no spinach, Popeye. I mean, and we're the extremists. I guess I'm with Al-Qaeda, Ben.
That's the extent that the medical model has gotten to. That's how deep the medical model has gotten into pharmacological therapy. This idea that you have to get off your nutrients so the drugs can do their work. I mean, if you just sit and think about it for a couple of seconds, it's ludicrous, right? No Brussels sprouts, no broccoli, so your Coumadin, which is rat poison, works. But that's the extent, not only that the medical model, not only is that how deep the medical model has gone into this idea that we can drug ourselves to health, but that's the extent of the hypnotic trance that we are under, that gives the authority to the man in the white coat. We trust the doctors so much that we're willing to not eat green leafy vegetables, which everybody knows are important for all markers of health, because we're scared. We've been led to believe that if we don't take the Coumadin, or we don't take the statin drugs, or we don't take the prescription medicine, something's going to happen to us. It's a hypnotic trance of the most incredible degree, to the highest degree. And what happens is, once you start on a nutritional supplement program, you notice, oh my God, I'm feeling better. Oh my God, I'm losing weight. Oh my God, I'm not as hungry anymore. And you wake up out of the trance. And like Alex said, or like Aaron said, we should be focusing on building our bodies up without having to interface with the control model, with the medical tyranny, with the corporate tyranny that doesn't care about you or your family. This is about taking the control back. This is about taking the power back. This is about putting the ball into our own court, the health ball into our own court. Your body is a miracle. The healing power of the human body is one of the most amazing phenomena in all of life. The ability the body has to regenerate itself, to heal itself. Even at the age of 90, you can begin to build muscle. You can begin to build tissue. No matter what your health crisis is, once you start to get yourself on a good nutritional supplement program, once you start to correct your diet and eat the right foods and not eat the corporate swill, you will notice health changes and biological changes that will seem like a miracle.
Listen, I did a fire ant video the other day to compare the fact that with a soft kill weapon like the globalists put in the GMO, the vaccines, the aspartame, the rest of it, that if you frontal assault, poke an ant bed, a fire ant bed with a pin, they'll swarm out and attack you. But if you give them Amdro that looks and smells like food but has poison in it and slowly kills them, they'll all eat it and die. And people said, you're animal cruelty just poking an ant bed. This is the mental illness, but killing Iraqi kids is good. But as a side issue, I happen to know with ranchers and people, and Richard Reeves reminded me of this today, that one of the cheapest forms of killing fire ants is actually NutraSweet. You just shake it up and mix it up with something like apple juice or something with your equal, put it on the fire ant bed. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill the fire ant bed. Oh, I'm going to really commit a crime here. I'm going to kill the fire ant beds in my yard and videotape it. I'm going to feed them aspartame, show them alive and dead a week later, and I'm going to show you what you're eating. It will kill fire ants, but you're eating it. That's how incredible this is. And then I think about Ted, God bless him, and I hate to use him as an example, but he wants me to save lives, where the doctor said it, so he's God, and so he doesn't get his tangy tangerine and now doesn't, pretty much know who he is again and has lost his memory compared to the miraculous results. But I've seen the cases all over the place where there was stuff 20 years ago they knew essential fatty acids and coconut oil in studies was good for people with Alzheimer's, and that it's an autoimmune situation in some cases. In other cases, it's chronic inflammation in the brain, according to Dr. Blaylock. They know this, and they know that when you get off the GMO and get off the aspartame and get off the artificial salts like the MSG, that you can reverse a lot of it, and they won't tell you because they want to give you the drugs and suck the money out of you. It is so diabolical. Why would somebody with Alzheimer's, from your research as a pharmacist, who would go on something like Tangy Tangerine, why would Ted's dad in just a few months see dramatic, I mean, it was like magic results. Ted said it on air here, that his dad suddenly remembered things, could go fishing again, was back. He had sores all over his skin like old folks get, where the blood vessels break. That went away. I mean, it was dramatic. What's happening there, pharmacist Ben Fuchs?
There's 12,000, according to the World Health Organization, there's over 12,800 different diseases. But there's not 12,800 different diseases. There's only one disease. And it shows up in the brain as Alzheimer's disease. And it shows up in the pancreas as diabetes. And it shows up in the joints as arthritis. And it shows up in the intestine as celiac disease. It shows up in different places, but it's just one disease. It's the disease of inflammation and breakdown. And we get inflammation and breakdown primarily from one reason and one reason only, and that is lack of nutrients and intake of the wrong kinds of food. So whether it's Alzheimer's disease or whether it's arthritis or whether it's a skin disease like acne, it doesn't matter. These are just ways of obfuscating and confusing people so that they just give up and wave their hands and say, you fix me. The fact of the matter is, whether it's showing up in your brain or whether it's showing up in your joints or your pancreas, it's your body breaking down. And the body breaks down from only one reason, and that is lack of nutrients and intake of the wrong kinds of foods, for two reasons: intake of the wrong substances and lack of nutrients. So how do you get around it? It's simple. Get yourself on nutritional supplementation and watch the results. If it's Alzheimer's disease that you're dealing with, your brain health is going to improve. If it's heart disease that you're dealing with, your heart health is going to improve. If it's skin issues that you're dealing with, your skin health is going to improve, because it's really only one thing that's going wrong. It's the body breaking down, secondary to lack of nutrients, and the intake of wrong food substances.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing is, it doesn't take long.
All right,
it doesn't take 30 days. It takes a week or less.
I want to state something here. This is two things that's happening right now on the radio show. I do this occasionally. A, it is revolutionary information that can save lives. And B, it's a sales pitch, because we're a free market system funding ourselves. We're not robbing banks like many revolutionaries do. We're trying to restore the republic, get our country back by promoting things that we believe in. And, you know, I've been promoting longevity for about a year plus because I know it's good. But since I actually did my own advice, I'm just totally sold. So I hope people will go to InfoWarsTeam.com and find out about Rebound, Cell Shield, RTQ, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst. It's all amazing, and their purchase also supports the broadcast. But that said, that is secondary to people understanding, hey, don't drink aspartame. I know so many people that listen to the show, and friends and family and even famous people, and I'll watch them brushing their teeth and they've got fluoride toothpaste. Or I see them, you know, at a restaurant wanting equal, and they just don't think about it. So we're trying to save lives here. We're trying to discuss what's really happening. I mean, if you could see him on TV, folks, radio listeners, Aaron Dykes, 80-plus pounds. Keep saying 80-plus. I mean, do you know how much it is past 80?
It's probably 90, but I couldn't guarantee that.
My goodness, how much did you weigh, bro?
Probably 270, maybe more.
Did you know I hit 270?
I'm not proud of it, but hey, I mean, they got how many people now obese in this country? I mean, look what they're doing to all of us. How many people are going to have cancer? It's nearing.
But you should be proud of the fact that it's not embarrassing that you lost all this weight, or they were that big. Hey, listen, brother, I've only lost right at 40. I need to lose another 40.
Yeah.
You know what else, Alex and Aaron? We're domesticated through our food. We're made less virile. We're made like you know the difference between a lion and a big fat tabby cat on your couch? That's what happens when we eat the food. We're supposed to be lions. We're supposed to have a level of virility and energy and zest for life that allows us to go out and do things. What ends up happening when we interface with the food, the corporate food and the fast food and the advertised food and the marketed food, is we become like a big fat tabby cat sitting on the couch when we should be a lion in the jungle. It's a domestication that's going on.
By the way, it's well known that you feed farm animals certain diets to make them aggressive or make them docile. And when you mention that, it's on record that GMO alone in all species is making things fatter, slower, and stupider. I saw a big study on that just last week.
Fluoride, too. You know, if you wanted to pick a way to dumb down the population of a country, you'd put some stuff in the water supply, wouldn't you? So if you put something in the water supply, you got a perfect vehicle, a perfect vector for creating any kind of health condition that you want in an entire population.
And now, because we've been exposing them, they're openly... Have you seen pharmacist Ben Fuchs, how they're proposing everywhere, putting statin